Ever been in one of those, like, really heated arguments? You know, the kind that gets a little out of hand?
Oh, yeah, I think we all have at some point.
But can you imagine it escalating to the point where, like, someone's being held back and then,
Someone else shows up with a weapon.
yeah, and shoots them?
Tragic.
And then, get this, the shooter claims, no, 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 it was an accident. Like, how do you even...
Right. How does it even work legally? Like, where's the line between just losing it in the heat of the moment and, like, cold-blooded murder?
That's exactly what we're going to untangle today. It's about this crazy Supreme Court case.
Yeah.
People of the Philippines versus Elinjer Corpuz y Daguio.
Yeah, this one really got people talking online. It's a wild one. Full citation, by the way, is People of the Philippines, Plaintiff Appellee versus Elinjer Corpuz y Daguio, Accused Appellant. It's GR No. 220486, decided June 26, 2019.
Okay, so we're gonna really break this down. Like, what happened? What did the lower court say? And most importantly, what did the Supreme Court decide? All this went down in Tarlac, by the way.
Buckle up, folks. It's a wild ride.
So picture this. September 2nd, 2011, around 4:00 p.m. We're in Barangay Pada, St. Ignacia, Tarlac. Our victim is Jerry Corpuz, and the guy accused of killing him is Elinjer Daguio Corpuz. And believe it or not, this whole thing kicks off with an argument about a dog.
Yeah, you heard that right, a dog. Between Jerry and Elinjer's brother, Porfirio Corpuz Jr.
So Jerry's wife, Ofelia Daguio Corpuz, she saw the whole thing. She's like the key witness here. She says Porfirio like flagged Jerry down. Jerry was on his motorcycle, and they started arguing about the dog.
Things got heated, and I mean really heated. It went from shouting to a full-blown brawl, like a fist fight in the street. Ophelia saw Jerry fall with Porfirio on top of him, and then boom, Elinjer shows up with a gun.
And shoots him.
Not just once, but twice.
While he's pinned down.
Crazy, right?
Now, Jerry's son, Jerry Corpuz, he also comes into the picture. He heard the gunshots, ran outside, and saw Elinjer walking away gun in hand. And there's his dad, lying face down on the ground.
So, you've got the wife, you've got the son, both saying they saw Elinjer shoot Jerry. Seems pretty open and shut, right?
You would think, but here's where things get interesting.
Of course, there's always another side to the story.
Elinjer's story is totally different. He claims he was at home cooking when he saw his brother, Porfirio, outside with, and I'm going to quote this directly, a pamalo and pamingwitning palaka.
A what and a what?
It's like a stick and a frog-catching rod, basically.
All right.
So Elinjer's heading back inside, and he runs into Jerry, who apparently blocks him, and is like, where do you think you're going? Elinjer says, Jerry then pulls out a .38 caliber gun. Elinjer's all shocked, tries to grab the gun, and they start fighting over it.
Hold on, so now Jerry's got a gun.
That's what Elinjer's claiming.
All right, keep going.
He even says Jerry whipped him with his shirt during the struggle. Then, according to Elinjer, the gun went off accidentally, the fight keeps going, they both fall, and bam, another accidental shot while Jerry's on his knees. Elinjer says he freaked out and ran.
Wow. Talk about two completely different stories.
So, the regional trial court in Cameling, Tarlac, they heard all this, weighed the evidence, and found Elinjer guilty of murder. They really bought the prosecution's witnesses, the wife and the son. The court said there was treachery because Jerry was totally helpless, pinned to the ground. So, bam, Elinjer gets sentenced to reclusion perpetua, that's life imprisonment. Plus, he has to pay damages to Jerry's family.
But the legal battle didn't end there, right?
Nope, the case goes to the Court of Appeals. February 2015, they pretty much agree with the lower court. They uphold the murder conviction, agree about the treachery, but they tweaked the damages a little, took out the actual damages because there wasn't enough proof, but they added in temperate damages. Also, they bumped up the exemplary damages a bit.
So same verdict, but some changes to the money part of it.
Right. Now, Elinjer's not giving up. He takes it all the way to the Supreme Court.
This is where it gets really interesting.
The big question for the Supreme Court is, did the Court of Appeals get it right? Did the prosecution really prove, without a doubt, that Elinjer's killed Jerry with treachery? And could his story about it being an accident hold any water?
Lots to unpack there.
So, June 2019, the Supreme Court comes out with their decision. They side with the lower courts, dismiss Elinjer's appeal, and uphold the murder conviction. They did, however, make some more changes to the damages.
What'd they change?
Well, they put a lot of weight on the testimony of Jerry's wife and son.
That makes sense.
Supreme Court said these witnesses were clear, consistent, and didn't hesitate when they identified Elinjer. And get this, they couldn't find any reason why these family members would lie.
Especially about something as serious as murder.
The Supreme Court was basically like, yeah, we're not buying this accidental shooting story. They pointed to the prosecution's case, saying that Elinjer shot Jerry on purpose twice while he was completely defenseless.
It's pretty damning.
And when it came to treachery, the Supreme Court totally agreed with the lower courts. They said because Jerry was already being held down by Porfirio, he had absolutely zero chance to defend himself.
So that's sudden attack, no chance to fight back. That's textbook treachery.
And the fact that Elinjer shot him twice, that really sealed the deal for them. It showed intent. However, they did say, like the lower court, that they didn't see enough evidence of, like, premeditation. So they believed it was more of a spur-of-the-moment, heat-of-the-moment kind of thing, but still treacherous.
Gotcha.
Okay, so last thing, the money. The Supreme Court changed the amounts again, increased the moral damages to PHP $75,000, exemplary damages also PHP $75,000, temperate damages PHP $50,000, and they kept the civil indemnity at PHP $75,000. All of this, by the way, earns interest at 6% per year, starting from when the judgment becomes final until it's all paid up.
It's amazing how much detail goes into these decisions.
It really makes you think, though. In a fight like that, already so heated, does someone else coming in with a gun and shooting, does that automatically mean treachery? Like, where's the line between just snapping in the moment and a planned attack? What do you think? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this deep dive into People of the Philippines v. Elinjer Corpuz y Daguio helpful, smash that like button.
This case also throws light on some really important legal concepts in the Philippines. Like, first up, murder. It's not just any killing, it's unlawful killing with special circumstances, like treachery in this case. Those circumstances make it way more serious than just, homicide.
And then there's treachery. We've talked about a lot today, but just to recap, it's all about using a method or tactic to make sure you can carry out the crime without any risk to yourself because the victim can't defend themselves. The attack has to be totally out of the blue, no warning.
Right, no fair fight.
Another big thing here is the difference between an accidental firing and an intentional killing. Based on this ruling, it's clear that courts really rely on eyewitness testimony that directly describes the act. The defense has to really prove it was a genuine accident, especially if all the other evidence contradicts that.
Makes you wonder what would have happened if there weren't witnesses.
Finally, there's the whole issue of credibility of witnesses, which is always a big deal in court. Now, you might think being close to the victim could make someone's testimony less reliable. But the Supreme Court actually said that if there's no reason to think they're lying, that close relationship can make them even more believable. Because why would they make up such a serious accusation against someone they know?
Especially family.
Right.
This People of the Philippines v. Elinjer Corpuz y Daguio case is a really powerful example of how the Philippine legal system works. They look at everything, the facts, the testimonies, and the legal principles. It's a reminder that even when things get super intense, even in the heat of the moment, the way you act, how you use violence, it has serious legal consequences.
Huge thank you for sticking with us on this deep dive into this landmark Supreme Court case. If you want to explore more cases like this, learn more about Philippine law, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future episodes. We really appreciate your support.
See you in the next deep dive.